Any questions? Coach, whenever you're ready.
Got you crunched in here a little bit more, huh? Didn't know if that would deter you away. I guess you hadn't had a chance to see what it looked like. But good morning, and I know you guys got a chance to meet with the coordinators, but it's game week, and it's a great feeling for everyone, right? You guys included, and so excited about this last week of preparation. Guys, I think are in a good spot. We continue to have those things continue to be healed up here nicely last week, and so getting, like I said, time to play, see where we're at, and I think this team we got here going on the road, be a great test with Florida State. We know that from the coaching staff, head coach Coach Norvell, and two new coordinators, been a lot of film for us to pour through. We know that they've done a great job over their careers individually and now collectively. Know that we're going to face a good test here this weekend. So, a lot of work putting into that last week. We'll continue to do that. Proud of our staff, proud of our team on all the focus that they've had, just on keeping the main thing, and really taking it one day at a time. And I think there comes a point now where you do have to start thinking, because we are so focused on the moment, that time now is coming, and this week should feel different.
Thanks, Coach. Let's start with Nick here on far right.
Yeah, other than Jam, do you expect anyone else to miss this game because of an injury?
I would say Jaden Roberts, still in question, just with what he's going through in the protocol and the process there. So he's progressing, so we'll kind of see here.
So Charlie on the second row.
Just kind of piggybacking off that, what have you seen from that first team offensive line, especially Gino kind of stepping in for Jaden?
Yeah, and Gino was here a year ago, was battling, and we threw him out there in a couple series a game, and he would do a great job. And I've referred to him as Swiss Army knife guy, can go out there and do a lot of things, so he's really valuable to us, and really a lot of confidence, not just by me, but I know everyone out there offensively believes in him, and he's done a nice job. So really feel like you skip a beat at all. He was in there competing for that spot in the first place, all along the way. So he loves us. There's an energy that Gino, as you get to know him, that you really appreciate, and I think he adds that to our offensive line, in his own way.
Let's go left side here to Chase.
Ryan Grubb being the only assistant coach in the booth for game days this year. I think there were only 2 last year. Can you just speak to your preference for having most of your staff on the field?
Trying to think. Last year we had Sheridan up there. Right. Anyone else?
I think Hitchler.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I see what you're saying. I thought you meant us offensively. We could, the world we're in now, where you have some really high-end quality offensive analysts, defensive analysts that you really trust, and there's a number of guys that will be up in the booth with those, that really have worked together with these coaches a long time. Grubb in particular, you got Mitch Dallin and Tyler Hughes, not just Coach Grubb, Ryan Grubb working with them, but myself as well. And so a lot of trust that you just have, and I think being on the field with our players is an important piece, and as long as we're getting the information we need from up top, that's important. I think the other element that gets added to this that changed a year ago is the iPads, and we can see everything on the field. I can see it all on the field. Maybe not in that moment, but we can understand, why something happened, good, bad, ugly, whatever it might be, and we can make those adjustments by seeing on video as good as anyone, because that's got both views, the wide and the end zone shot. So we can make those adjustments on the field with our guys, and I think that's important for our coaches to be there with our guys, which is why you see more of the coaches on the football field.
Go to Katie, second row in the middle.
When you're breaking in new quarterbacks, new players along the offensive line on the road in the first game, what's the benefit to having an experienced guy like Parker at center?
Yeah, and Ty, I understand this is his first game, but just with how long he's been in college, and he's got a few games under his belt in different ways, but it doesn't feel like maybe it feels that way for him, but I got a lot of confidence in him and just his emotional maturity and where he's at there to be able to take this in stride and it not be something that's overwhelming to him. So, but as you referenced with Parker, just those two guys working hand in hand, being team captains, and the energy, or just the way that they kind of infuse energy into our team, but also do it in their own way where they can stay calm themselves. You feel very confident in what that's going to look like on game day with Parker running the show, and Ty there, hand in hand with him.
Let's go back of the room, Mike.
For the team in general, just what are some of the points of emphasis going on the road this year where you can improve upon last year?
I think starting fast, right? You got to start fast. You dig yourself a hole on the road. It gets hard. The crowd gets behind the home team, and comes down to execution, which comes down to preparation and the work that's happening on the football field. Tomorrow, Wednesday, Thursday. So it's the same old thing, but starting fast and giving yourself, not that you don't have the belief, but like another level of like momentum, and so. As much as anything, taking it away from them, especially in an environment that we know is going to be a good one down there in Tallahassee.
Front row to that, Colin.
Hey, Kalen, I know that we've talked with Kane a little bit about this, but what have you seen from a guy like Dijon Lee, kind of coming in, being, everything that Kane called him, we see him as a starter. I'm curious about how you've seen him kind of grow over the course of the last few months to kind of put himself in that position.
Yeah, well, I mean, when that comment right there, I guess the way I'm hearing it is how I feel like you have no problem putting him out there on the football field. And there's a maturity, use that with Ty and Parker and our team, but there's a maturity that a freshman has, and I felt like Xavier Brown had that last year, and there's other guys too. But then specifically focus on Dijon, he's had that even just when he doesn't even know what he doesn't know in spring ball. There's something about his presence and just the way he is. And it's not about being as tall or anything. It's just about the confidence to go out there and play. And I know that's all part of it. You got to have the skill set, and he's just done a great job being consistent from the first day he got here, winter workouts to where we're at today, and you keep throwing more and more on his plate, and he rises to the occasion. So you feel very comfortable putting him out there on the football field.
Front row on the right, Tony.
Correct me if I'm wrong here, but the last time you were on a team or coaching a team that was starting on the road was Southern Illinois in 2013. Do you even remember that game? And what do you draw on, I guess, from past experience to get your players ready for, getting a road environment right off the bat?
Eastern Illinois? Did we play Eastern Illinois?
You played with Illinois.
Oh, Illinois. Okay, how was the year before we played at Eastern Illinois, maybe. So, I was trying to think back. What was your, just kind of with the question? What are you looking for?
Oh yeah, just do you draw back on anything from either playing experience or coaching experience? It's been so long.
Yeah, it's been so long. I think you just go back to any big road games that you play, and this one being the first game of the season, the first one's always big. It's always the biggest because it's the next one, and then I think just getting the season off to a good start, that's important. That makes it big. So in all these ways, I think what it does is it gives you an urgency during fall camp. Playing these games like this, just kept, I think, the focus of fall camp at a high level, knowing that you got to be at your best because your opponent is, and we know they got a lot that they want to prove. They're gonna want to open up their season in a big way. So again, I think the guys have done a great job of just focusing on us, focusing on what we can control, being in the moment. I know those are cliches, but I think these guys have really done a good job.
Let's go to Jamie, back row in the middle of the room.
Hey Coach, going into year 2, what changes have you noticed, whether from leadership or locker room culture, have you noticed that gives you the confidence that this team can handle the big moments this season?
I think consistency in practice, consistency with how guys handle each other when maybe there's a moment that doesn't go as well. It doesn't even have to be on the practice field, it can be anything. And then just accountability to each other, if there's something that's just not to the level that they know, it doesn't mean that someone did something wrong. I'm talking about at the level, you know, and making that guys that are new to the program understand what that level should be. There's just a great investment that you see, and that leads to the consistency that I'm talking about. And, you know, there was maybe practice where there's more on their plate and school starting and things like that, you know, just you can feel it was different, that, you know, they needed to get out of there because they had to get to class, and that feels different because the guys are always putting in extra work on their own after practice. But in the end, I really feel like these guys, their investment's been at extremely high level. And if there was a rep or two in practice that didn't go their way, those individuals that group together, you know, I missed a pass, they're gonna put in the extra work and get that pass right after practice. And so, you know, these guys want it, they want it, and the actions have supported, you know, the work that it's supported through the work they've put in to reach their goals.
Let's finish up with Kennington on the front right here.
In regards to the offensive line, I know you mentioned Gino, you know, as a potential to replace Jaden. Is there anybody else in the depth part of the offensive line that earned their way to being considered for rotational snaps on Saturday?
Nothing probably to the extent that we had a year ago. We were very intentional. Gino and then at right tackle kind of rotating there too. So nothing to that level right now. Doesn't mean we don't feel comfortable putting some guys out there, but you know, especially with this group, I'd like to get out there and generate some continuity, some momentum. I remember last year, the first play of the game, I think Parker's helmet flew off. Proctor got hurt in pregame. So by the second play of the game, we had two new faces on. So hopefully we got a little better luck here this year when it comes to that. So, but yeah, you know, I think that's you know, kind of the unit and the group that we'd like to have out there, you know, most of the snaps. Doesn't mean that a guy here and there might float out there for one series, but it's not something as intentional as we were a year ago.
All right, thank you, Coach.
Awesome. Thank you guys, real time.